Hello everyone. Today's session is about group share with Active Directory users. And group share is not new. You can do it with Active Directory with Microsoft File Network Share. But the new thing is you can do it in the cloud now with the Gladinet Cloud Enterprise. So now let's go to the Active Directory first, and then let's create two test users. So we're going to name the user T2 and then E300. It's like tenant number 2, employee number 300. So these are the two test users we will be using for the rest of the demo session here. So what we are going to do is we're going to create group share, the network share, and then turn the network share into a cloud-facing group share. And we have Active Directory server here, and then we also have a Gladinet Cloud Enterprise server in a VMware, and then we put a public DNS name and also a public IP address, so then you can access the server from the internet. And then on the backend side, you can connect to the Active Directory and the file server. So for demonstration, the Active Directory and the file server are put on the same server. But logically, they are separated. The Active Directory is for the identity, and then the file server is for the storage layer. So now we have two users created in the Active Directory. So now let's go ahead and take care of the storage part. So we are going to also, in the session here, demonstrate the user's home directory mapping in the cloud. So we're going to create 3 folders. So let's create a group share folder first, and then the group share for that folder, we're going to assign the 2 created user to it. We are also going to create users home directory, one for each, like T2E300 and T2E301 home. Home means that's the user's home directory. So now let's go to the home directory, and then let's deposit a file to it. So it's kind of like a marker file. So in a demo session, then when we browse into the folder, we will see the file. Otherwise, the folder will be empty. So it's kind of hard to tell, which folder is which. So now we deposit a file there. So if we see this file, we know it's the user's home directory. And then we're also going to the group share 4 folder. We're going to deposit a file. So the file here is just for demonstration purpose, because otherwise the folder will be empty, so you don't know, we are in that folder. So now each folder has a marker file in it, so we will know we are in the folder once we see the file. So now let's go ahead and map user to it. So now this folder, we will make it the employee 300's home directory. So now we do a network share and then assign that to the user. So we're going to remember the path here, because we're going to put the path in later on in Active Directory to set it up. So let's do both for both users. So turn the folder into a network share first, assign read and write permission, and then let's copy the path out so we can set it up in Active Directory. So what I'm doing now here are all pretty like traditional stuff, right? The normal Windows Active Directory stuff and the normal file server network share stuff. So we haven't get the cloud flavor in yet, and which we will do a little bit later in the session. So now these are all preparation work. So we now assigned a user's home directory to the user's profile. So that's the flag the Gladinet Cloud Enterprise software will be reading to map the user's home directory in the cloud. So now the 2 users are set up. The user's home directory is set up, and now let's go ahead and set up the group share. So we are going to turn this into a share as well. So we turn this into a share so it can be accessed from other servers, including the Gladinet Cloud Enterprise server. And we're going to assign the 2 users to it. So now this is a group share, and then there are 2 test users in it. And we're going to copy the share, the path out. So later on, we're going to use it to import the folder into Gladinet Cloud Enterprise. So now we're going to do the share permission as well. So the share permission is the permission the Gladinet Cloud Enterprise is looking for when it tries to import the share into the Gladinet Cloud Enterprise using WMI. So WMI is I believe it's Windows management interface or instrument, the protocol, like management protocol to query. Let's say you can not only you can get to the share, but you can also get to the share permission and do it programmatically. So now we have 2 shares home directory set up. We have the group share set up and assign the 2 users to it. So everything is ready now, right? So everything's ready, and everything is still in the local area network. And now we are going to elevate that into the cloud. So now that's the interesting part. We're going to connect that into the cloud. So we have this Gladinet Cloud Enterprise running, and then we logged in as a tenant admin. You need to do it as an admin, right? So the first thing we're checking is to the Active Directory integration. So that's set up, and then also we checked the publish user's home directory, home drive. So we want the user to log into the cloud and then get the user's home directory, and in addition, the group share will show up. So now the next thing we're going to do is to convert existing file share as team folder. So we are now elevating that file server share, which was good for a local area network. Now we are elevating that into the cloud, so it becomes a internet-facing group share. So we're going to copy the path in here. So when doing the import that we need a user that has enough permission to read the file server share to make sure it exists, and then read using the WMI protocol to query the share permission. So if the Gladinet Cloud Enterprise server is in a DMZ zone, so the backside of the firewall, the WMI protocol needs to be able to traverse the firewall to reach the server. So now you see the group share for the 2 users are pulled in, right? So what you are looking at is the Gladinet Cloud Enterprise properties now, away from the Active Directory, but the 2 users were imported right there, right? So, and then also if you go to the user manager, you can see these 2 users are automatically migrated over. So that's the magic of the WMI, because we go over to the WMI protocol and then query the share permission, and then the share permission pulls out the user, and then we just import the user right away. So now we logged in as the user, right? The employee 300, and then you can see this marker file, both marker files. So now we can see which is which. So now you probably understood that why I deposited 2 files into the folder. So now I can see, otherwise the folder will be empty, right? So you don't know who's who. And then I also changed the color theme for this employee 300 into like purple. And so now you can see different browser sessions representing different users. So what I'm going to do now, since it's a group share, so group share means everybody can do something to it, right? So it's a collaboration folder. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to upload 3 files to it, right? You can see, as with a modern browser, you can just do drag and drop into the browser. So that's pretty new to you, right? Because if you have a Microsoft network share, how can you do that over a browser, right? So that functionality was provided by the Gladinet Cloud Enterprise. And now let's go over to a different browser, and we will log in as a different user. And so that the same thing. We have 301, and now we log in as the user. So you can see the same three files there. And now let's create a folder. And after we create a folder, let's say folder by employee 301 and go over here, the folder shows up, right? So this is collaboration. So one user create a folder, the other user can see, and then the backing storage is the imported Microsoft Network Share. So that's all good. So now let's try demonstrate the native Active Directory NTFS NTFS echo, the access control list. So we are going to create two folders. One is called folder for employee 300, and then folder for employee 301. So we're going to set up the security to make sure that um, employee 300 can only access the one folder, the E300 folder, and then employee 301 can access the other folder. So the thing I'm demonstrating now is to show you that even over the cloud, the native NTFS permission is honored, right? So you can just set it up, the NTFS permissions, and then over the cloud, then these folder permissions are checked as if it were just the normal Windows NT share, right? So what we are going to do is we're going to set up these two folders, E300 only folder and E301 only folder, and then assign user to each one, but not both. So now everything's set up and everything's ready, and we are just double checking, making sure that the security tab matches the user. So now everything's ready. So we did the share permission in the traditional NTFS way. And if you see here, we do a refresh, right? So this is employee 300, and then only one folder shows up, not the other one, because the other one is only accessible by employee 301. And then if we go over to the green theme, which is employee 301, then the employee 301 only folder shows up. So that's all good, right? So that means the native NTFS permission was used to do that. So now let's go over to the iPhone, right? So you want to access all these group share, the network share, without using VPN. So there's no VPN here, just Gladinet Cloud Enterprise server. And then you can access the network share, multi-user access, and then from the browser, from the iPhone, and from multiple access devices and clients. Thank you, everyone.